Welcome to The Blueprint, where action meets strategy, strategy meets real stories, and real stories are based on people who didn't follow that blueprint. I'm Anwar, and we're going to be finding out more about the people, the stories, the strategy, the impact, and so much more. Let's dive in. The first guest we have today is Stephen Kabungo, who is the CEO and founder of Ziyzo CRM. It is quite a fascinating company based on customer relationships and management and so much more. Software that is precisely crafted for individuals and SMEs. If you're an SME, this conversation is definitely for you, providing an ideal individualistic streamlining of business operations and solutions, joining other individuals and businesses that have expertise and experience to make your companies move with so much ease. Now, I want to know more about the management of Ziyzo CRM and so much more. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine.
I want to take it to the beginning. Who is Stephen?
Oh, Steven is a guy in tech, simple, been in the industry for some time, and yeah, an entrepreneur for that matter.
Fantastic. Now, when you hear Ziyzo CRM, first, what does the name Ziyzo mean and what exactly is a CRM?
Oh, this was just a word I came up with. One, to make sure that it's easy to remember, but also I can come up with a meaning. The meaning is to make things better in business. What does CRM mean? A CRM basically a customer relationship management. And in that, in a CRM, we look at various aspects. If if you're in business and you're setting out a receipt or an invoice, you have to have created a relationship with that customer, with that client. And basically, all that is now being packaged to be all in a software to assist and make things easy.
Now, you mentioned big words, and I'm thinking about SMEs. Maybe I don't have the big customers yet. I'm not a big organization or industry. Does this work for me as an SME?
Yes, yes. Actually, it also works also for individuals. Individuals meaning even the moment you're in business, there are particular aspects you have. One, in any time you're requiring a service or you're rendering a service or sharing a product, when you're billing a client, how do you bill them? You'll build them by either doing an invoice, you do a proposal, or you do a short expense request. Now, from there, how do you request for your payment? You definitely request for an invoice for that payment to be done. After that, what happens? The client on the other end or the customer will require a receipt for that.
Right. This is fantastic for someone in the entertainment industry, and I know a lot of people will relate to what I'm about to say next. I've sent so many invoices. I'm still waiting for payment from 2019 for a gig I did at some point. For someone like me who is, I'm my own company, I'm my own person, and I'm still trying to get this CRM in place as well. What advice would you give someone like me who's still looking for my receipts to be held
Oh,
up?
now the best thing is with Zizzo, it helps in particular things. One, it has various notification platforms through email, through SMS, and all that is isn't. Unlike other scenarios whereby you have to buy a CRM, which comes at a significant amount as an investment. One, with Zizzo, it is easy because it is free of charge. You just simply go to a website, click, set up the basics, the basic information that is your name, your company. Then from there, it is a cloud-based CRM. So it will just send you a link. From there, you just add your logo, do your invoicing to your clients. If it's the clients, you just enter their information, the contacts. Then from there, it automatically does that. Anytime, what we explain is we are moving past the traditional invoicing, traditional receipts, in that most people, in fact, even as we speak, we know of a lot of businesses whereby they do it traditionally using Excel sheets. But now with Zizo, it changes all that. Yeah.
Right. I like that you mentioned also cloud-based as well, which gets me thinking about cybersecurity,
Yes.
which is essential. My
Yes.
information is out there.
Yes.
Where is it being used? Where is it being generated and taken
Yes.
off to the next place, right? Because we do know about data mining.
Yes.
How do I guarantee that my information is going to be secure?
So with one thing with Ziyzo, we have one of the best, other than the server itself, we have a layered security to ensure one, your data is safe, and with accordance with the Data Act for Kenya, we ensure that your information is there intact, and we have enhanced particular security levels to ensure that even if you want to access that information, you want to hack the system, it becomes next to impossible. Why? One, we have also a very, very good, strong cybersecurity team that ensures that every day-to-day threats are all catered and handled.
Fantastic. The reason why I was asking that is because we see a lot of people concerned about the government getting involved in their business practices or even their individual practices as well. So understanding that cybersecurity is very essential. Now, from you though, I want to know, what was that moment that you thought business deserves a better way to manage customers?
Okay. So the moment that it came was I have another company, and I remember we used to bill clients, request payments, send out invoices, do proposals manually. Manually meaning we used to do that via old receipts. At times we used to do now. That's when we advanced and we started now using the Word documents or MS Word and the likes. Then from there, that's when we realized, okay, this is a quite tiring. I'm good in tech, and this is what I'm going through. So what happens with that person who is not in that industry, who's not conversant with technology? That's when now we come up with it to ensure that we solve that situation. We solve those problems and issues where entrepreneurs, freelance people go through.
Right. Now, you've also become an entrepreneur and a
Yes.
freelancer the same way that you're solving that solution. And I mentioned this earlier to you, but it is character development,
Yes.
starting a business
Yes.
in any sense of the word. Maybe you can talk about some of the challenges that you faced while starting.
Okay. So one of the most interesting thing, if it's in fact it's good right now that things have changed. We have e-citizen, but before then, you used to go to Sharia house. You make a line. You do actually an application manually, write the names that you want, and then you have to come back a day or two for that to be checked. At times you'll go, you find a name that is there, or you send someone to represent you, then shock on you. The next thing, that person has added themselves as the director in that company. So those are some of the challenges we've gone through. Yeah, but we thank God where we are.
Right. Now, Kenya is seen as the Silicon Savannah of Africa. We're really moving up there with South Africa and Nigeria. But a lot of Kenyans do say that getting funding is a big problem. Westerners get funding. They start a company, a tech company.
Yeah.
And then in a year or two, it dissolves and they move on to the next country that they're trying to save. For you, who is based in Africa, you're based in Kenya, you are Kenyan as well, and you're doing tech.
Yes.
What advice would you give someone who's coming on the up and up and they feel like, can I really get this started? I don't have the backing of Westerners or the foreign industry.
The first rule in business is a business is considered infinite. That when you start an opportunity, if you see an opportunity, don't think twice. Go straight on. Head on to it and take that risk. Because no one will come. There's someone else who will see that opportunity and they'll run with it. So anytime you do it, take that risk. Don't think twice, take it. It might be hard, it might be difficult, but as long as you've taken a step towards it, that's all that matters. Yes.
Now, what you know now, give yourself, your past self some advice.
Yes.
What you know now, what do you wish you knew then? So what do you know then, do you wish you know now?
Actually, one of the things that I wish I knew is that in business, 80% is relationships, 20% knowledge and skill. Yes. I wish I knew that.
Even in tech. People
Yes.
think tech, they're just sitting behind a computer making things happen.
Yeah.
Even then.
Yes. Even in tech, anything whereby it's business and you have to relate with people, always remember that 80% is relation. For example, in a scenario like this, and you might end up using Ziyzo, not because there are no other CRMs out there, but because Ziyzo you've met Steve.
Right.
Yes.
Very true. Now, what are some of the mistakes you've seen entrepreneurs making that they should avoid?
Going in too deep without any idea or believing you're going to learn on the way. And that's a mistake. Most people do that. I'll give you a good scenario. The opportunities that come in that require you to have knowledge and experience, they are those ones you actually need to have that knowledge. And that's the thing. You might get a lot of people go in too deep in terms of finances. They invest heavily, believing there's an opportunity. Yet you're good at something. If you're good at something, stick to it. Don't look at the monetary value. The monetary value comes in as an addition. Yes, that's one.
Now, in the age of the internet, if it's too good to be true, kind of is a double-edged sword, right? Because
Yes.
sometimes it really is.
Yeah.
You know, we've gone from telling our aunties, don't open that WhatsApp message, it's been forwarded many times, to it looks so real. I've gotten emails as well where I'm like, oh, this is great influencing opportunity. When it comes to tech as well, how can we protect ourselves and know this is actually a gig or a deal I want to get into, or this is just too good to be true? What should we look out for?
There are telltale signs. One, as you said, if a deal is too good, think twice. So anytime one, you do your research, you check your background research on it, you get the information, then if need be, consult before anything. Because at the end of the day, one of the things that a lot of people do and in this industry is they rush too quick. For example, there's the crypto craze that is there, but there are different things in crypto. For example, a lot of people don't know about rug pulls. They see there's something that is big, hyped. Next thing you have nothing. Yes.
Right. I'm also just thinking about the 190 streamlining their business. I want to bring it back to CRMs as well. So, what's the cost of not having a CRM?
Well, there's a lot. One, you end up wasting a lot of time and resources. A task that should take you a few seconds will take you hours. What does that result to? It reduces your productivity. That's the first thing. Another thing is how you manage your business. The management of a business lies in various principles. One, with a CRM, you can easily know where the issue is based on the department. You can easily manage, you can easily know and follow through anything that pertains to the company, right from uh, the client acquisition and direct sale pipeline to all the way to a closed deal or a proposed deal. You can easily manage that. Unlike all the other times, you need to write all the sticky notes.
Right. And then I wanted to know from you, what's one feature people discover, especially when they are using Ziyzo, and they immediately say, wow, where has this been all my life?
Well, one of the best features is that you get instant payments via M-Pesa. Yes.
That's good because let me tell you, I mean, I have beef with eTims, but that's a personal conversation for later. Because trying to generate it
Yes.
and you have multiple invoices, it can be exhausting and tedious. And this gets me into the future, right?
Yes.
Of CRMs,
Yes.
AI, the future of pretty much everything nowadays. Do you think AI will replace salespersons in that interaction we were talking about earlier?
No. Yes.
Really? Why
Yeah.
not? That was a very flat out no.
Yes.
You don't think like they're taking our jobs? They're taking our jobs. You don't think so?
It only works to a particular capacity. I'll give you a good scenario. Um, when you're developing a system, let's say a banking system, there are particular features whereby, unless you have that knowledge, unless you have been in that industry before, you will not know the capturing, we will not know which issues affect the clients. For example, our market dynamics for Africa and the market dynamics for North America are two different types. But the AI and the knowledge base that is there, because it takes up with a particular language model, it limits itself. It will give you based on that. But when it comes to a market whereby our market is still young, it's growing, it's an emerging market. So particular things or information is not available online. Yes. It comes through experience.
But we've seen a growing interest in the African market. I mean, how many more tech summits are we going to see? Africa in tech, South Africa in tech. We've seen, Europe in tech in Africa, Asia in tech in Africa. So clearly there is an eye on developing, because as we are a developing market and AI is developing, wouldn't that mean that it's going to change relationship management?
Yeah, it will.
Right.
It will.
Do you think for the positive or the negative?
Oh, positive. Positive. Being an emerging market, the advantage is we're getting most of the knowledge coming in and being easily accessible. The Africa of 30, 40 years ago is not the Africa of now. Right now, accessing knowledge is very easy, even through your phone, through the laptop, everything. And this is the next frontier of tech. Yes, that explains why most startups, most investment companies are still coming. And to be very frank, Kenya is there. Silicon Valley.
Right. A lot of people are saying it is very easily accessible to find great techpreneurs. I mean, there's studies that came out that a lot of university students in the US are using Kenyans. The Kenyan ChatGPT was, the students before ChatGPT was there. So we have the knowledge and we have the power, but it's the resources. To
Yes.
someone in Bomet who's able to code,
Yes.
till the morning comes. Someone in Kibera who's able to light up the entire area. What would you say to them, and what would you say to the government who maybe overlooking them as well?
One thing is the government needs to work with the youth. There's serious impact, there's serious talent out there, and unfortunately there's a lot of talent drain that is happening. If the government was just to take an initiative to create a very good environment whereby techpreneurs can initiate, it will be perfect. Yes. And we're not talking because most of the setups, for example, for the hubs, the tech hubs, most of them are where? In the urban centers, the cities. We needed to go mashinani huko, rural.
Right. And seeing as this is all about the blueprint, one thing that's very important is what you consume and absorb as a person. And we started off with getting to know you. And I also want to end with that as well. What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching? What podcasts are you also checking out to better your craft in tech? And what should people also be looking out for?
Wow. Now there's a catch. I'm not a fan of watching a lot of things. And I tend to watch a lot of things, watch a lot of sci-fi movies. No, because it's a lie. Most of the ideas come from there. Most of technology that you're seeing is actually, it comes from movies. The only catch is what's there and how easy it is to deliver it.
I love that answer because I've noticed that more and more as I've been watching. My friends are very into sci-fi, and the more I watch it, I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, this film came out in 1999. And I'm like, they were already thinking about this.
Exactly.
It was just for the person to take that step. What is that step in the future for Ziyzo CRM?
To be the biggest, to be the best, and to ensure that each and every entrepreneur out there, each and every freelancer, one can access technology easily, can be able to run their business easily. Because one of the features that is there with Ziyzo is that we have integrated AI to it. So some of the repetitive tasks that you have, it can easily do that. Because with Ziyzo, it creates it's a whole ecosystem. For example, if you're a landlord, and you need your rent to be paid, you can easily integrate it. We have a module for that. You can easily request people to pay. We have a module to even monitor your billing, water billing, and sends you the receipt and sends you for the payment. Yes. So the future for it is bright. Yes. And we're going global.
I love that. I love that. And I can't wait to see how that goes. I actually have one more question.
Yes.
And this one I think is inspired by listening to my uncles and all of them complaining about, is life becoming too easy for the next generation? If everything is automated, I don't have to worry. I just have to be.
Yes.
Is it just becoming a little bit too easy?
Yes.
And is that a bad thing?
It is a bad thing.
Interesting. Let's delve into that a little.
One of the things is now we have knowledge at our fingertips. There is knowledge that is there, and there's knowledge, experienced knowledge that we have earned through experience is different from the one that you've read. Yes. Because with knowledge, it starts with information, knowledge, then wisdom. So action knowledge is becoming less. And maybe we might be having less of wise people. Yes. Because of AI.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just worry about the human interaction aspect because we can see it's socializing is becoming difficult.
Yes.
But the convenience is so much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
But with that, we're losing other aspects. Yes. There's the human nature, there is the relationship nature that you have. We're losing it day by day, day by day. You go to a place, people, I know when those days you could sit, go to a party, for example, you interact. Nowadays, there's nothing. Everyone is on the phone. I don't know what people are looking at, though. Yes.
We need to have you come back and talk about ethics and tech because that's a whole other conversation. But what I like the fact is that you saw a problem and you've created a solution for it. Last but not least, was there anyone's blueprint that you followed, or was this your own blueprint that you followed?
My own blueprint, my own story.
Fantastic. That is Stephen Kabungo, who is, of course, the head and founder of Ziyzo CRM. If you forgot, let me remind you one more time. It is a cloud-based customer relationship management software company that actually helps you craft, especially for SMEs and individuals, providing an ideal solution for streamlining business operations, making it so much more easier and convenient for you to just do your job to the best of your ability. So if this is something that is interesting to you, all the information will be up on all social media platforms as well. Make sure that you do check out Ziyzo CRM or tell a friend to make their life a little bit easier. What question would you ask the next blueprint?
Why in business?
Why are you in business? Woo! Good luck to them. We'll see you in the next blueprint. Make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe in all channels possible. And of course, follow Ziyzo CRM and the blueprint. And me, Anne Mora.